as a kid, my father, who's a horse trainer, he always had Mercedes, a version of a Mercedes, whether it was the small 70s one, the convertible that you had to do it with that little crank. My mother she had an Alfa Romeo convertible that was also a nightmare stick shift. We always had a ton of cars in the driveway now that I think about it. And I don't know if that just sort of got into my blood and under my skin, but I never had any money to have a car. So like the first nice car I ever had, somebody was going through something and had to get out of their lease, and it was a Mercedes, and it was $299 a month with no money down. My first car out of high school was a Toyota Supra with the Targa top, which flew off one time on I-95. As I've become successful, I moved into the car life. I got a 1973 custom, perfect, beautiful Bronco that's red and white. There's something about that car that there are other Broncos in the Hamptons. There are those Land Rovers they've done over, and those are 200,000. Everybody stops at this car. Everyone takes I see it's like there's paparazzi. Like people are taking pictures outside the car. It's crazy. I have a Range Rover Autobiography SV in this green color that apparently that year they only made like 18 of them or something. It's psychologically because of my history with watches. I like that it's the factory color. Like I like that it's not somebody went and just wrapped it, and it nobody even cares except for me. Also, I bought it a year before they changed the body, but I was okay with that because I don't like everything that everybody gets that's brand new and that's like the thing. I like sort of sitting back a little and having something that's not the thing. Everybody could have the new thing. I'm like that with fashion or clothes or anything. I like the creative thing, the different thing over the new thing. So you'll see that with all my cars. I don't really love the new thing. Another situation where I want it to be different and I'm willing to wait. I messaged Bronco when I heard that there was going to be the Ford Bronco Heritage Limited. I heard they only made 1,900 of them. I messaged Bronco. No one responded to me for 2 years. And then I did an Instagram message and said, okay, Bronco, how many, do I have to have 5 Broncos for someone to just message me on Instagram? So then some guy from like Bronco Corporate called me and they said they're going to try to get me one in Darien, I think it was Connecticut. And then they said, but it's up to the dealer what they charge. I'm like, absolutely not. I'm not doing this schmuck like over sticker. Like I no. So I waited and I got it for retail, the baby blue, but I wanted the 4-door because I know that it's more classic to have the 2-door, but I like the 4-door. I like the functionality, and it's a little bit different, and you don't have to do things exactly the way they used to be. And I have a 2-door red and white Bronco. That car is amazing, and it looks custom inside. It looks aftermarket, like in the best possible way. It's stunning. I saw a Land Rover 130 on the road, which we don't see that much of. You see the 2-door, you see the 110. But then I thought the 130, I liked that because I always love long SUVs, but they all look like livery cars. They all look like driver cars, So I saw that, and I saw one online that was silver with black, and it had some red details, but it's, again, factory. So I bought that, and I did do a little bit of aftermarket work just to make it not so basic. I matted some of it. I picked choices of where I was going to do it, and it was cost efficient the way I did it, but also looks really intentional because there are matte parts that speak to each other. And I have a black matte G-Wagon in the Hamptons that has a red interior, and G-Wagon's one of my favorite cars. It suits me because I don't drive a ton. And so it just suits me for the way I drive.